Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Today I'm here to show you how to make the mod medallion necklace and bracelet. And I've already done the original mod medallion tutorial already, but this time I'm going to show you how to make the pointed tipped petals. And like I said in this particular video, I'll be showing the bracelet and the necklace. And I will have a separate tutorial up, separate tutorial up on how to make the earrings and ring as well. But anyways, let's get started. So for this you're going to need one flower for the necklace and one for the bracelet. And you're going to need a lot of white bands in order to make, the whole entire, round, I guess, of necklace and bracelet. And I forgot to mention this in my other mod medallion tutorial, but I think I should mention that the pattern that I use for just generally this area here, it's similar to the tapestry by Cra-Z Just Might Work on Instagram. And yeah, it's like kind of like the Comfortable, kind of not. It's like a thicker version of the Comfortable. But anyways, I just thought I'd mention that, give her some credit. Didn't intend to steal her design or anything. I just figured a plain white tapestry would be a good and simple design to accompany my charm. But anyways, let's get started finally. So first off, you're going to string your whole beads on your band in order to make it pointed. So you're just going to want to take one of your petal bands, a piece of wire. This is like any sort of jewelry wire. It's got to be thin though, in order for your bead to actually be strung onto it easily. You're going to want it folded in half. And then of course you'll need your bead, which I recommend a nice seed bead for. Like a kind of bead you would use for like an eye if you were making a rainbow loom creature or animal or whatever. But you're just going to take this band, string it on one half of the wire, hold it like this so that it's kind of flat on this piece of wire. And then you're going to take your bead, string it onto both of the pieces of wire, and then just pull it onto this band. And it's okay if your band twists, and then you can just take your wire off. Now what you're going to do is you're going to want one piece of your band to cross over the other piece. That's what's going to make the band sort of curl in half a little bit, yet not twist up or look bad. So you're just gonna stretch it until you achieve this. And as you can see, this top band is crossing over my bottom band. And again, it's doing this nice little curl thing. And then you're going to scoot your bead over as needed so that it's in the center of your band and you have two loops of around the same size on each end. And then after you make this one, you're going to repeat it 7 more times so that you have a total of 8 strung bands. And then you can start your flower. So for the center, I recommend using the same color as your petal bands, but this one you don't want to put a bead on. You just twist it in a figure 8 shape into a cap band on your hook. And then you pull a white band through it. Pull the back band over the front. And then, before you flip it around, you're going to put a bead strung band on your hook. Put this back on your hook, so that's facing this direction. And then you're going to pull this band over onto the white. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull this white sort of over the bead here. Just going to kind of tug on it, scoot the pieces of white to the center so they make a nice little knot. And just sort of tug on and pull on the bands until they're nice and even. I'm always a perfectionist when it comes to this. That'll do. And then you can sort of fix up your petal band too if it needs fixing up, making sure that your bead is pointing straight outward and that your cap band has both its halves nice and even. And next, you're going to put your hook through this cap band again, pull the white through the cap band, pull the bottom band over the top. Make sure your knots are facing the same way too, like you have the tops of the knots on one side and then the other side of the knots on the other side. And then you're going to place your beaded band on your hook. Put this back on your hook so that's facing this direction. And then you're going to string this beaded band on. Pull this bead through the white and pull this white back. And of course, stretch it out, fix it up as much as you want. And then make sure your bead is pointing away. And then you can scoot this band, this little knotted band, over to the other knotted band, and then start your next petal. Again, going into the cap band, pulling this white through it, knotting it, putting a beaded band on your hook, pulling it onto your white, pulling that bead through the white, fixing it up a little bit, and then pulling your knotted band with the others. You can rewind if you need more explanation, but you're just going to be repeating this whole pattern for the rest of your flower. And you're going to do this until you have 8 petals connected to your cap band. Anyways, how are you guys doing? It's just been Thanksgiving when I'm making this video. Thanksgiving was like 2 or 3 days ago. I don't know, I'm losing track of the days. And yeah, I did participate in Black Friday. I got some bands. And my Michaels, to my delight, has been starting to get some of the new bands that Michaels has been stocking. Some of you might notice that people may have been talking about like having new bands or whatever in Michaels stores and stuff. And mine's been starting to get some of them, like Caribbean Green and like the confetti ones, whatever those are called. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. They haven't gotten all of them yet. The only 2 that I noticed were new were the confetti ones and the Caribbean Green. But yeah. And for those who are wondering about design contests, I think from now on I'm going to do a design contest around Christmas time, and I'm going to do one around the summertime, because those are the 2 times of the year that people have the most free time, I'd say, or they're on break or whatever. So yeah. And after saying that, of course, there will be a design contest this December. So get hyped for that. I just hope I'll have like enough time to oversee it and stuff, because I feel like I'm gonna get really swamped with like midterms and junk like that, and that'll kind of be stinky, but I'll get through it. I have like half days on all my midterm days, which is pretty nice. I only go in for like the amount of time it takes to take 2 midterms for like a week, which is pretty darn nice. I'm glad that my school does that now. What else should I talk about? Thanksgiving was good. My family doesn't really like have a Thanksgiving dinner. It's more like a 2 o'clock-ish mid-afternoon lunch dinner combo thing. I didn't really eat dinner that day because, you know, I had like something for lunch and then I had Thanksgiving food. So yeah, my eating schedule was really weird, but it was really good. My mom makes really great food for Thanksgiving. And then we had cake, and it was really good. It was really good cake, it's simple as that. I got an eclair cake from like my favorite cake place where I live. Wish I could tell you guys, but then you'd know where I live. I don't want you to know that. But it's like the only place where I get cake that I actually like, because I'm generally not a cake person. But that one place where I get my cake from, like, it's like really, really good. I don't even know how that works. Like, I don't like cake that anyone else makes, and I just like their cake. Guess maybe it's just hard for people to like master the art of cake making. I don't know. But whatever, I lost my train of thought. But like angel food cake will like downright be my favorite cake for like ever. Anyone can make that and I'll still like it because it's angel food cake. Alright. Now I'm done with that little flower. And we can start our bracelet. Oh, brought my hook that I had in my lap. Alright. So at this point, if you have a double-ended hook, you should switch to it. It'll make this next part a bit easier. But now I'm going to make my bracelet. So for the bracelet, it's basically the same exact thing as the necklace, except you're going to do double the rows in each half for your necklace than you do in your bracelet. I'll explain as we go along. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your little flower, and you're going to have this little lacy side facing up instead of the knotted side. And what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your petals, put your hook through it like this so the hook is sticking out at you when you hold it with the lacy side facing you. And you're going to pull a white band through it, a band that'll match your little knot colors. And you're going to put your hook into the petal right above, put the white band on your hook, and then pull this petal over it. So now you have a little loop right here, stringing the two petals together, and you have this single here. And then, right after you do this, you're just going to pull a white band through that white band. And then, you're going to put your hook through this petal right here, which is the one that you were just working with on the top. You're going to pull a white band through it, put your hook into this next petal here, put the other end of your white on your hook, and then pull the petal over. And again, you're going to pull another white through this right here. Again, put your hook into that petal, pull a white band through it, put your hook through this other red band up here, put your other end of your white on your hook, and pull it through your petal. And then pull a white through that. And then you're going to repeat this process only one more time. Hook through the petal, pull your white through, put your hook through this other petal, put the white on your hook, pull the petal over, and then pull a white through the white that you just pulled through. go. And now you have half your petal, or half your flower strung through already. And your next step is, what you're going to see is there are some bands that tend to pair up in your bracelet that you're working on right now. You'll see 3 pairs in the middle and then these 2 bands just kind of hanging out on the sides. And you're just going to pull the right band in each pair over the left band of the pair. Like that. And your next step is, you're going to pull white band through the new first 2 bands. You're going to do that again after you pinch the band that you just pulled through off. And then pull a band through these next 2 whites. Put everything back on. And then flip and scoot your bracelet around, making sure that everything stays crossed over the same exact way that it was. And then you're going to pull a white through these first 2 whites here, pinch it off, and pull a white through these remaining 2 whites here. Now, as you can see, you know how I was talking about the rows earlier? Well, so far we've done 3 rows. The first row that we completed, we did right after we stitched 2 petals together. The next row that we did, after we pulled the band through those stitching bands and then crossed them. And this third row is of the bands that we pulled through the previous row. So for the particular bracelet I'm making for my wrist size, I use 13 rows on one half and 13 on the other. And then I clip them all together at the end. Now I'm going to show you one more row, and then I'll go off camera to do the remainder of the rows. So again, you can see things tend to naturally group up in the middle, and you're going to cross over this time based on your previous row. So since we did some flipping previously, you'll notice that the left band appears to be crossed over when you hold the stuff on your hook. So of course, to match the previous row, you're going to cross the left band over. And then pull your bands through. So again, you're going to pull a white band through these first 2 whites. Pinch these whites off. Pull a white through the next 2 whites. Put everything back. Flip your bracelet around. Pull a white through these first 2 whites here. Pinch it off. And then pull a white through these remaining 2 whites. And again, like I said, I'm going to go off camera to finish it up. And I'll come back after I'm done to show you how to clip it. Alright, so I'm back. I've done this little half of my bracelet. And when you're clipping it, you're going to start clipping it after you cross your bands over. And you're just going to take your first clip. You'll need 4 clips, by the way, for this. And you're going to clip it to these first 2 bands here. They're not going to be 2 halves of the same band, they're going to be 1 half of one band and 1 of the other, since you did all your crossing. And next, just going to clip your next 2 bands. Again, 2 pieces of different bands. Just pull them off. Next, you're going to clip these 2 bands here. And then you're going to clip these final 2 bands. And there you go, that's half your bracelet. Now the other side is pretty much the same as the first one. I'm going to show you the beginning steps again because they might be slightly different, but again, not much. You're going to put your hook through this bottom petal here, which already has 1 band going through it. And you're going to pull a white through it. And you're going to put your hook through this red petal here. Put the other half of the white on. And then pull it through this petal. And then pull a white band through that. Put your hook into this petal here. Pull your red through it. Put this new petal on your hook. Put the other end of the white on your hook. And just pull this red petal over. And then pull a band through these first 2 bands here. Repeat this 2 more times. And then 1 more to finish it up. And the last 2 petals you do should already have a band through each of them. There you go. Now you've finished your other half. And now to start this side, you'll have to look back on which band you crossed over here. So you can see the top band crossed over the bottom band if I look at it like this. So on this side you gotta have the bottom band cross over the top. So in this case it means the right crosses over the left. I like to have the opposite crossover because I just think it looks best in the necklace or bracelet, whatever you're making. And then, of course, pull your weights through the same way that you would usually do. This is basically a repeat of what you did on the other side. Just figure I might as well show it to you again while I'm at it. And then, of course, you're going to repeat until you get to the end of this half of your bracelet, and I'll come back to show you how to finish it up. And I might as well note at this point you should have 3 rows done, so since I like to have 13 on each side or half of my bracelet, I have 10 more rows to go. Alright, so I'm back. I've done the other half of my bracelet, and to finish it up, you cross everything, you know, like I said, to do in the final or the last clip that I did when I was finishing up the other half. And instead of using new C-clips, you just use these ones on the other end. So you're just going to clip this first pair here. Random itch on my face. Alright. And then the other one. There we go. And then just pull that off. And when you clip the other bands, make sure that the clips are all facing the same way, because that makes it look the best. There we go. And then you do this pair. And then do your final pair. And there you go, there's how you finish it. And there's your bracelet. And like I said, to make the choker or necklace version of this, since I did 13 on each side, I used 26 for each side of my necklace. And whatever amount of rows that you have to do for your wrist size, it might be more or less than I used, just double that for your necklace lengths. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and bye.